Hey now everybody, we're back, brand new take aim. Excited to have the guys back from the Quest Hunt Company. If you remember episode 176, I had the guys on and they explained this new contest, a deer tournament style contest, and the states involved the previous year were Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi. So we basically just rounded off the year. They just had the banquet for the Quest tournament and plans for 2019. It's a great show, great guys, and it's definitely a great thing to get people motivated and more into hunting. So I hope everybody listens, enjoys, and potentially gets involved with the contest and the expansion of the contest next year. Enjoy. All right, guys, we're live, brand new Take Aim Outdoor podcast. Excited to have these guys on the phone, Phil and Jeff from the Quest Hunt Company. What's happening, fellows?
Good morning, man. What's going on?
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what's going on here is it's freezing, cold, windy. We had icy rain. They're canceling school every day. It's just a mess up here in Michigan. So I hope Missouri's doing a little better than we're doing.
Yeah, we've been pretty spoiled, actually. We've had a couple little cold snaps, but for the most part, I mean, we've had a lot of 60-degree days down here this February. So,
jeez, that's unreal. That is unreal. We were no joking, with the wind chill last week. We were at minus 40. So that's today at 30 is not so bad. It's just the roads are so icy. It's kind of scary. But yeah, it's been the epitome of a polar vortex. I'll say that much.
Yeah, that's insanely cold. Can't imagine.
No, it's brutal, and I'm sure my deer aren't loving it, which kind of stinks. And it's funny that we think about it because people think we're cruel and we like to kill stuff, and all I'm worried about is getting my deer through the winter.
Right.
You know,
absolutely.
So. But man, I'm excited to talk to you guys, and if listeners remember, we had Quest Hunt Company on. Oh man, I don't remember what episode 186 I want to say, but so basically it was your guys' initial year doing the Quest tourney, and I just wanted to touch base with you guys, get you back on the show, and kind of recap how 2018 went for you fellas.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, appreciate you having us back on. We're like, it's fresh, man. We just finished up the banquet this last weekend, and so it's kind of weird, I was just sitting there talking to Phil, like you sort of come off a high. We've been working so hard on completing this tournament in 2018, and finally it's done, which is crazy. But things went really, really good. I mean, we were sort of a little overwhelmed last year with the amount of support, and just sheer number of entries and folks getting involved in the tournament and sponsorships and we always knew it was going to culminate to this big event, our own trade show here in Springfield, Missouri, just down the road, and then an awards banquet. And, you worry and stress about that, but we had 3 states. We're going to handle Mississippi on a later date, but we had Missouri, Iowa, and Arkansas in one big banquet, and had a trade show, over 100 vendors. And I don't really know the numbers yet. We probably had 6,000 people maybe come through the show. Hopefully somewhere around that number. We'll get all those totals soon. But and then had a banquet and gave out a ton of prizes, like 70 trophies and $150,000 in prizes, and it was pretty awesome. It was pretty magical. I think all in all we were pretty pumped. I think there's a lot of vibe. It's weird when you tell somebody you're going to give them Polaris Rangers and hunting blinds and stuff like that, $50,000 prize packs. It's one thing, but you could almost see. I think Phil would agree with me. You could see when these guys put their hands on these things and said, holy cow, I just won a $22,000 prize pack for doing what I love. I think it really got real for people, and they started sharing it all
real quick.
Yeah. So we had people doing their own live videos and sharing on Facebook and Instagram. People were going, oh, my gosh, how do I get signed up for this? So we've got a lot of momentum coming out of the show, but it was a great year.
Man, that's fantastic. Excited to hear that expo went that well. That's a ton of people, especially outdoor-minded people in one area on the same weekend. That's pretty awesome. And actually, I said episode 186. It's 176. So sorry about that. But if you guys listeners want to go back to reference that episode,
you guys kind of talk about the initial part of the attorney in that episode. But yeah, excited to kind of, like I said, touch base with the awesome banquet you guys had, and overall, how was the experience for you guys as pretty much putting this on, and how do you feel what could be different going into next year? Actually, this year technically.
Yeah. So we're already in full swing. I mean, we didn't get a break, really, right? I mean, I've kind of liked to had about a month off, but unfortunately, we have to work right out of the gate, start working on 2019. But we've got new sponsors this year. Pretty exciting stuff. We brought on Traeger Grills, Matthews Archery, Stratton Seed, Buck Fever. Is that it? Is that the new one so far? Hawk, some other guys out there we're going to be working with. So we've, now that I think a lot of people were kind of sitting back watching 18, including people that maybe thought about getting in it. And now that we went one full cycle through the tournament and the awards have been handed out, I think a lot of people, including sponsors, are kind of moving forward and saying, yeah, let's do something on a bigger scale. So, we've got some new sponsors coming in. I mean, some of these Traeger Grills was really a big one for us. So was Matthews. We're going to have some pretty deep discounts for folks on that stuff, which is great. We're also adding 3 new states this year. We've already launched Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky. So big deal there. We partnered with a company called The Bearded Buck up in PA. They have a TV show on the Sportsman's Channel, and it was a really good move for us. We got not only they great guys, but they've got some media points that we can leverage as well for just advertising exposure. But that was a real big deal for us. There's still a potential for doing another state or two, but we know for sure we've launched an additional 3 states inside the tournament, which is going to spread us out and probably put us in a position to have more than one year-end awards banquet. But it's exciting. We're looking for pro staff in those areas now, so I think we've taken like over 500 applications or something like that for pro staff in those 3 states. So already got some excitement going that way. But all in all, I think we're pretty pumped about 19.
Yeah, you guys are moving fast. It's unreal. Do you guys have, or should I say, let me ask you a little bit about just the weekend and maybe some of the some of the things that happen as far as like your winners and how did that stuff go, and kind of recap for everybody, Jeff, real quick, just how you end up, how it scored, so listeners know just like exactly what we're talking about when we're saying this team won or that team won.
Sure. Yeah. So how the tournament works is throughout the season. I mean, the tournament runs really long, so it's September all the way through the end of the year. And so when you sign up for the tournament in the mail, along with your promotional codes for discounts and all that good stuff, welcome pack, you get trophy tape in the mail. And so how we kind of keep our unofficial leaderboard moving all season long, prior to officially scoring them all, is we allow people in the field to basically photograph their scoring with trophy tape at home. They have to score within 24 hours of harvest prior to caping the animal. So there's some rules that go with that, and they have to kind of document. It's real simple. They load the pictures up on the website, and the total score. That kind of becomes their official score throughout the season. And then, so anyways, when we get them here to the trade show, we had about, 10 or 12 scores, Pope and young guys at the event. So as soon as our guys walk in the trade show, that's where they check their deer in right there. It's kind of a welcome desk kind of thing. It's pretty neat, just a ton of deer. I think by Friday night, even prior to the show launching, we had already had about 25 deer delivered to that table. So people at the trade show could go watch them score those deer. So it's pretty cool. They come in and basically they get scored officially, which did change, and I can tell you the dynamics to the awards banquet, because people knew where they stood coming into the banquet, but we had a lot of shakeup. Some guys would measure officially 3 or 4 inches smaller. Some would 3 or 4, 5, 6 inches bigger. And so we had some teams shuffling around. So, the evening of the event on Saturday, when we were calling out names, I mean, there were some people that didn't know where they were going to be, didn't know if they hung on to first or didn't know if they moved up to first. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I'm sure that made for an exciting, atmosphere for the evening, no doubt.
Yeah, like Jeff said, I mean, take, for instance, Iowa, coming in unofficially, there was about an 8-inch gap between first and second. Well, by the time it was said and done and everything was officially scored, there was like an 1.5-inch difference between first and second. So it was pretty climactic there at the awards show. So it made for a really cool event.
Yeah, for sure. And just to recap, so everybody knows that we're talking about 2-man teams, right? I just want to be clear. So potentially it was $2 that were scored per teams.
Yeah, that's right. So it's your team score becomes the total gross inches of your 2 best deer, and each team can score up to 3. So each team member has to contribute 1 deer. But once you both scored and logged the deer, you got the opportunity to kind of improve one of those scores. So if you kill each one of you both harvest a secondary deer, whichever one moves the needle the most kind of increases your score the most. You can substitute one of your kind of initial scores. So it's kind of a cool concept, but ends up being your total gross inches on your 2 best.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I bet you that was super exciting. Did you guys kind of find any, or not find, but were you surprised by any of the differences just between the states, so to speak, between Iowa, Missouri, and Arkansas, and how each state performed?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we did. It was kind of crazy, I mean, typically you don't think of Arkansas as being a big buck state, and you got the guys in Iowa and Missouri starting to check in some big bucks, and then all of a sudden these guys from Arkansas start putting up some pretty big scores, and it was impressive. So there's good bucks everywhere, and it was just kind of exciting. It was an eye opener for us just to see from some of these other states that we weren't quite as familiar with, that we hadn't hunted ourselves, just to see that they were producing some great bucks also.
Yeah, no doubt. I would put it, so to speak, that you could say Arkansas is a little bit under the radar. But, I mean, I've been following Arkansas for a while, and they're putting out some mega giants down there. And it's hard to believe because you just don't believe when you hear Arkansas that they do it. But, man, they're putting out great deer year after year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They are. That's really cool. So
yeah, I think they actually came in a little higher than Iowa this year. I mean, we don't really do a state competition, but I think if you'd have put these 3 states in order, it would have been Missouri on top and Arkansas in second, Iowa in third. So
that's crazy, isn't it? I mean, who would have think that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of it goes back to the format. I mean, it really isn't about 200-inch deer. Now, it'd be great if you got one, but a lot of our guys that were in the top 5, they both just really hit a nice average, went out and killed a 150-inch buck or, a piece and something like that. So that when you're not hunting a solo event, it really does change things. All you really got to have is 2 guys that can both go out on the right day that season and get a hold of a decent buck.
Right. It's a great format. I mean, we saw it play out time and again this year where one of the teammates check in 160 or 170-inch deer, and the other teammate not be able to harvest anything, So it really does change the game and kind of levels the playing field, and I think everybody really enjoyed the whole format.
Yeah, it does. It's really just a brilliant format, and what I think also is so unique about it is like this year I'm going to draw an Iowa tag. I'll be in Missouri. So me as a non-resident, I can still enter the contest with you guys in both those states, which I think is awesome, and I want to make sure everybody that's listening understands that format. It's pretty remarkable.
Yep. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we actually had some guys, in a few occasions, I know at least a couple, we had guys enter in the same, 2 teams in the same state. So, I mean, as long as you're scoring in, unique deer in each one of your teams, you're more than welcome to enter more than one team in each state and then, throw in another one in the neighboring state. So,
yeah, heck yeah, you can't beat that, which I think is really cool. So, just explain again to the listeners, you can be a non-resident, hunt the states that Quest has a tournament going in, and you still can enter. Just because you're from Michigan like myself doesn't mean you can't enter the contest. It just means you got to be there in that state and hunt it. So, which is really awesome. And like you guys said, the partner aspect, the two-man team aspect, makes it really unique, because one guy could shoot a 200 and your partner doesn't, has a year like I had, which stinks, doesn't mean you're going to win the contest.
Right. Yeah.
So, which is really cool. Did you guys, offhand, do you remember maybe, one individual that ultimately did kill the biggest buck of the year, so to speak?
Yeah, who was the biggest buck? We had a few bucks that were over kind of in excess of 180 inches, and I don't remember who the biggest.
So actually, I believe the biggest buck killed was actually taken from a guy in Missouri that finished second place, him and his teammate, but he checked in 182 inches is what he checked in.
Yeah, what a great deer.
Yeah,
that's
and
really cool.
We had several upper 170s and one more 180, but 182 was the largest in the tournament.
Man, what a deer. Well, that's really cool. So that's unreal. Are we looking at, I know we talked about expanding, you said Pennsylvania and Ohio. Is that correct, Phil?
Yeah, also Kentucky. Yep.
And Kentucky. Okay. Yep. And then yet you still have Mississippi Banquet you guys still need to do this year?
Yeah, we still got the awards to do there, and there is a date for that. I can't remember. I think it's next month.
Second weekend of March.
Yeah, second weekend of March, I believe. So we'll be doing that, and then we're really, part of our challenge is spreading out. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to do banquets next year. I tell you, one of the things that worked really well was having everybody together. It was almost some of the magic from the event, I think, was the fact that we had 3 states at one banquet, but the more spread out we get, that's going to propose some challenges. So we've got a little work to do to figure out how we'll probably have more than one banquet, 1 or 2 banquets in 2019. So.
Yeah, for sure. I would assume you could definitely do that on this side over here near Ohio and Kentucky, and have one for those couple states, and then keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure, like you said, the magic was kind of having everybody around and kind of just, hearing everybody talk in the air, between those 3 states was probably really unique.
Yeah, it was great, man. And just to hear the stories from some of the contestants, I mean, it was awesome. We had people emailing us all the time. Thank you for putting this tournament on. We've hunted harder this year than we ever have. Days that normally we would have slept in, I got up and got in that stand. We had one guy email us and thank us for putting the tournament on, that he was in the best shape of his life because he had never hunted this hard. So, it's just stories like that keep us going. And, we're all about getting more people involved in the outdoors as an outdoor industry. As a whole, I think that's a goal that we should all have, and that's one of the big things that we believe here at Quest, and we are losing numbers as hunters each year, and we just want to try to do our part to build the industry up again.
Yeah, for sure. I love the idea and the concept that just, I've talked to you guys before, and the concept was really to get people excited about hunting again, and that's why the tournament style is the way it is, and I think it's such a great idea, and I'm with you guys 100% on that aspect of just, our numbers are dwindling, and it's really hard to come up with something unique and original to get people excited about hunting again, and getting guys to, maybe take somebody hunting for the first time, or getting somebody into the sport, and that guy ends up being your teammate, and I just think it's brilliant. So I just applaud you guys for doing this as well.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure. A little more about the banquet, which I think is cool. You guys put on quite a show for guys entering the tournament, but you guys had basically like an expo. You guys had a country concert. So give me a little insight about all the rest of the stuff you guys did.
Yeah, it turned out really good. I mean, like I said, we had ended up, a lot of our sponsors came down for the event. We had, I think there was just over 100 vendors at the expo. Had pop-up 3D archery tournament that even included kids and folks that wanted to come up and shoot in that, so it was really, really cool. It had a little bit of everything. It was a hunt and fish show, so we also included some fishing and stuff like that, and we had, a lot of interest there. We had seminars that went on. We had Matt Drury came to town and did a Q&A session for us. at the show, which was a packed house. In fact, we had to go run and get more chairs, and then Sean Luttrell from Heartland Bowhunter came in, also packed it up. Really talked about quality deer management and some things that he brought to the table. And then we had Stephen McBee come down from Team Drury and do another seminar. So that was a huge draw. I had a ton of people wanted to come in and meet with them. I think Matt probably hung out in our booth, Matt Drury, for 3 hours, and so he did kind of a meet and greet there, and worked out really good. And then of course the banquet was a good time. I mean, we had the awards banquet. We had a great dinner. Start off, doors opened at 5:30. People started shuffling in, and we ended up with close to 250, 300 people there. Pretty big crowd. Actually ran out of food right at the end, at least for us. I think everybody else ate, and we didn't get to eat. So did that, and then we had this awesome kind of high energy awards banquet that was just put together really well. I mean, it had music going the whole time. It moved really fast. We gave away about 70 trophies, which was pretty awesome. Lots of prizes, and then we kind of had a little bit of intermission. We had our sponsors have just been huge for us. I mean, we ended up with about $8,000 worth of raffle prizes to give away at the event. So that was a lot of stuff. I think not everybody maybe, but most people that walked through the door left there with something, in their hand. These were like Badlands camo, Badlands or packs. We had Morel targets, just victory arrows. I mean, there was a lot of really good prizes. And so we did that. And then, of course, Heath Sanders came on and just brought us home, man. It was he just signed a major deal with Sony, and, he's moving to Nashville. He's a kid from Arkansas who we've met and kind of supported for a while. And he's now getting his break. He's kind of on fire. So he's actually opening up this coming week for Justin Moore and Cody Johnson in Chicago. So he put on just one awesome. Phil, it was amazing, right? I mean, the show was phenomenal. So people really got energized, and he's such an approachable guy. I mean, we kind of told people there, this is the cheapest you're going to see this guy perform, and we believe that. He's super talented, but I kind of wrapped up the whole night. I mean, it was just I think the icing on the cake, and it really, really turned out really well. So,
well, I know we talked about this right before we went on air, but I'm definitely jealous. I wasn't there. I'm definitely going to do what I can to make it next year to hang out with you guys. Hopefully, maybe we'll bring some equipment down. We'll do some podcasts and the whole 9 yards and do something fun like that. But I'm definitely jealous I wasn't there, and I can't wait to participate for 2019 with you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. We'd love to have you down. Good times, good party. We actually went back to the event the next day, and the guys at the venue said, man, we did pretty good on the bar tab. So I think there was like 600 or some beers that got drank that night with the people there. So it was an awesome time, and man, I can't wait to do it again. In fact, I wish we could do another one now. We're gonna have a blast this year for sure.
No, that's always cool. It's always good to have that energy and that momentum going and moving forward to this year's quest. Is there anything you guys are going to do to change maybe the format or some of the rule changes, anything like that we need to be aware of?
Well, there's a couple of little things, not many, actually. I mean, the format worked pretty good. One of the challenges we're going to have as we continue to expand the business is, our sponsors really struggle to keep up with us on state growth, right? So when you're trying to get prize packs donated as much as possible, which we don't get there. We've had to buy a lot of this stuff out of our pocket. But as we've grown, we are doing some things to look at minimum teams per state to meet our prize package. And if we don't get there, to switch it to more of a jackpot, basically sort of like a fishing term, like an 80-20 pot split. But really, I think we've kind of done that with some of our partners, the Bearded Buck, and for Kentucky, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, to kind of make sure we're focused on the fact that we got to break even. We got to get this thing where it makes money.
For sure.
But
Yep.
at the same time, we're not real concerned about it. We had such great turnout this year. I think our minimums are pretty low. And here in the Midwest, if we get a real similar reaction elsewhere, I think we're going to be just fine. But in terms of the rules, we haven't changed anything. We will have new sponsors in the prize pack this year, so that you can look for some Traeger grills to be in the the prize packs, and Obviously, with Matthews coming on, that'll solidify them being in there. Maybe a few camera companies you'll see showing up. We're still working on a few others. So
yeah, and one of the things we might mention too, Brandon, is we are quite a ways from deer season, and I know a lot of people are, not thinking about deer hunting right at this time, but we are starting to get signups in all the states that we're going to be in 2019, and the guys that go ahead and sign up now, they're going to take advantage of those discount codes from all of our partners for the entire year. So, if you're thinking about getting in the tournament, I would highly suggest you go ahead and get registered, just for the simple fact that you can take advantage of these awesome discounts to the unbelievable partners that we've brought on. So, get signed up, take advantage of those discounts, and get some great gear.
Yeah, heck yeah. No, I think it's always important to kind of hear some of the business side of it, because it makes it real and makes it real to the guys doing the tournament, and they appreciate it more, because this is effort, it is business, and all this stuff isn't for free by any means. We all know that because we work in the industry, and it's always an undertaking when you do something like this. So I appreciate hearing some of that.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and someday we'll get closer and closer to that point. But it is, we have this conversation all the time. Is it's expensive to do this, and what's driving us is that just our passion for it. We think it's really going to be a real growing segment of the industry that's kind of new and different. But we're committed to doing it. So if we can just make sure as we grow, we still can keep the lights on here at the office, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, for sure. Well, tell everybody where they can basically look into the tournament. I know the website, but just the rundown on the website and when you got to get ready for the 2019 start of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. We got tons of information over at www.questhuntco.com. You can check out the prize packs. Stay with us on that, because we'll be changing up those pictures. It takes us a while to get all our prize packs solidified. One thing that doesn't change is they are $50,000 in value, but you may see some products be introduced in there that you didn't see last year. So it's going to be exciting. You can also sign up there. And just like Phil said, last year people that signed up for the tournament, they only got to utilize their promo codes for 2 or 3 or 4 months. This year you get signed up early. Anything you want to buy this year for turkey season or anything else, you can go ahead and start utilizing that stuff. And it's all done automatic. So once you sign up on the website, you get March 15th. Our promo codes are coming out, so you get an automatic email. It's pretty cool, man. And then we'll see a bunch of people out at the trade shows and events. We'll be at a ton of places this year, so we can't wait to talk to as many people as possible about it.
Yeah, for sure. And anything you guys need up here in the Great White North, you let me know. I'll take care of Michigan for you guys.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, we're moving that direction. We actually, just so you know, but we are planning some things to get up into Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan area eventually. So we are having those meetings today.
It's in the works as we speak.
It's in the works, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I just wanted to say thank you guys. Make sure you tell Brian I said what's up, and I can't wait to have you guys on the show again, and hopefully throughout the year we'll kind of follow along and move forward with Quest.
That sounds awesome. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you guys. We'll see everybody next week, and make sure to download the Unfiltered app and check us out on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review, and thanks again to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us as well. It's been fun. Can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely.